Hello, and thank you for joining us for our application video for spices. In recent years, contaminants and additives in foods have become a growing concern for the general populace, who want to know more about how their food is grown and what is on it. In recent years, contaminants and additives in food have become a growing concern for the general populace, who want to know more about how their food is grown and what is on it. Pesticides are compounds of the greatest concern, as their ingestion in unacceptable amounts can lead to detrimental health effects. Common methods for sample prep and extraction of pesticides can be laborious and manual. The EDGE provides an automated method that vastly simplifies this sample prep and performs the extraction, cleanup, and filters the extract in one system. Let's now walk through programming the method on the EDGE. We first name our method and select the QDIS that we will use. In the parameters, we set the solvent. We will program in our addition per application note with a 15 ml top add and a 5 mm rinse. The rinse is added after the extraction and collected immediately. The method has a set temperature of 40 degrees Celsius. The hold time is going to be 3 minutes at the set temperature. Lastly, we are going to program the wash. Like the cycles in the method, the user has full control of wash parameters as well. A wash is done after every sample to ensure a clean, fluidic pathway. Next, for sample prep, the first thing we're going to do is assemble the sample holder, the Q-cup. The first thing to do is to place Q-disc into our Q-cup base. The Q-disc is the inline filter we have for the Q-cup. We will be using the S1 stack, which consists of a glass fiber filter supported by 2 cellulose filters. This Q-disc has a porosity of 0.3 microns, which is suitable for any kind of analysis. We then assemble the Q-cup by screwing together the body and the base. The single thread design makes it simple to assemble and clean. Next, we will weigh in the sample. The Q-cup is made of a lightweight, hard anodized aluminum, so it can be placed directly onto an analytical balance. We are going to weigh in 2 grams of sample per application note. At this point, internal standards or surrogates can be spiked into the Q-cup. Insert a Q-screen into the opening of the Q-cup and push it down with the Q-screen tool. This screen helps to keep the sample submerged in solvent and keeps the inside of the sample chamber clean. Now, the Q-cup is ready to be placed into the rack along with the collection vial. Today we are using a centrifuge tube, but we have other options for collection as well. With our sample in the rack, let's go ahead and load the rack into the EDGE. The rack is held down by magnets, which lock it into position. Select the method we programmed and load it into the position. Press play, start, and let the EDGE run. The automation will load the Q-cup into the sample chamber in the rear. The autosampler will then move into the collection position above the vial, as the seal head comes down to close the chamber. The seal head then adds solvent, and the heater heats the chamber and the sample to the programmed temperature. From then, the unit holds until the programmed time is elapsed. After the programmed time has elapsed, the EDGE will then collect the extract. After the initial collection, the EDGE then adds the rinse and purges the sample with the built-in pump. After the purge, the EDGE then removes the sample from the chamber. Places it into the original position, and then moves it to the wash port to begin its wash. The extract has been filtered and cooled. The extract is ready for you to bring to volume. Now we will confirm the volume of the extract and dilute to a known volume. An aliquot of the extract will then be transferred to an LC vial. In this case, we are looking for LC amendable pesticides. For GC amendable pesticides, a solvent transfer may be needed prior to analysis. However, the sample preparation would remain the same. We will now load the LC vial and run an appropriate LC-MS method. In just a short while, we will have our analytical data and we will be able to calculate our % recovery. Acceptable recoveries and RSD values were obtained for a number of different spices. Thank you for viewing our virtual application note for pesticides and spices. For more information and to access the actual application note, please visit cem.com.